Welcome to the Fans Ed Sports Show, hosted by 216 Mike and EG Laflare, also produced by Walt K Disney. This is a sports show with a college football focus that allows you, the fans, to create topics and discussions.
So, what we want y'all to do right now is subscribe to our show and join the discussion. We are on all social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, you name it. And we stream live every Sunday night, and you can catch our replay on all your favorite podcast platforms on Monday morning.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, man, I'm telling you. Upset, upset, upset. But let's get right to it. Before we get into some recap, Deion Sanders to Colorado. They say that the Buffaloes announced Sanders as their 28th head coach Saturday night, shortly after the Jackson State Tigers defeated Southern 43-24. I think is what it was, to win their back-to-back SWAC champ title. They say that Sanders will hopefully rejuvenate this program, bringing in some recruiting skills and his personality, and hopefully bring some new players to Colorado. And I think they're moving into a new conference in a couple of years, so this will definitely help that momentum going into that. And I know he's been getting a lot of flack with this change. But Sanders did say he was going to be there not for a long time, but if an offer came, he was definitely going to have to see what the money talks about. So I don't think this is any new news to anyone. We knew that he was the possibility that he was leaving. We just didn't know where. Mike, what you got on this?
Man, Dion to Colorado, it's shocking because of the location, and you're like, man, the fit. But this is a place that he could change around and also make it his image as well. But he was always open and honest. People wanted to say that he's not swag. Well, he brought NFL's more NFL scouting to the SWAC. He brought more television viewers to the SWAC. Like he did a lot of things for the SWAC. And the sad part, it was his own people hating on him, man. And it's honestly sad, man. I think what this should have did was motivate other people around the SWAC to step their game up. And you know, Dion always, like you said, Dion said that, if offers came in, he would have to entertain it. And then he also said, I would go somewhere for the right M, like, I mean, how much real can you get with your coach? So, I mean, shout out to Dion. I'm happy for him, his family. And I just want to see how it is when, he's able to get that talent up there to Colorado. It's cold. It's a little bit it's a lot different than the South. So I want to see how this goes on the recruiting trail. But I mean, I hear he's getting some good coaches. But I mean, they're in the Pac-12, and the Pac-12 is about to lose USC, UCLA, but you still got teams like Utah, teams like Washington, that could probably hold the crown for them. Actually, Oregon as well. So
Yep.
let's see what Colorado can do, man. But they do have a steep hill to climb.
Yep. Well, best of luck to Coach Sanders up there in Colorado. I hope you get some warmer clothes for that trip up there. And so, speaking of moving on to some college football playoffs, we got the Final Four. We got Georgia coming in at number 1, Michigan 2, TCU number 3, and Ohio State at number 4. They creep in after USC loses that battle. Congratulations, Mike. Loses that battle on yesterday. So we'll get into a little bit on that. But after winning their first SEC championship since 17 on Saturday, the reigning national champions, the Georgia Bulldogs, remain atop the pack at the number 1 seed. So they go 13-0 for the first time in the program history. I don't know a lot of people know that, but I know a lot of people think Georgia dominates, but they actually go 13-0 for the first time in their history. So congratulations to them. And Michigan also sits at 13-0 as well as another undefeated Power 5. So those two are the only two undefeated on the season. And then TCU comes crashing into the party even after they fell in the Big 12 in OT. But congratulations to them for making number 3. And the Ohio State, no, we did not see them play this weekend, but they creep in as USC falls down. So congratulations to them, and I hope they can redeem themselves in their season. Mike, I know you're happy about this news. What you got for me?
Yeah, man. I've been getting flack all over the place. I was watching the USC Utah game, man, and you know, on our show last week, I went ahead and picked USC to win. Everybody thought that I had an emotional investment in this game, but why would I do that and let myself down? Just let God do what He do, and hey, we will see what happened. And I got to see what happened, and Kyle Whittingham threw my man Ryan Day an alley hoop. Now I need to see if my man Ryan Day gonna dunk that mug. So I mean, my Buckeyes made it in. There was arguments that Bama should be in against Ohio State. Here's the thing, man. Those arguments trying to come up right before Selection Sunday, I'm gonna tell you why the Bama over Ohio State argument was just mute from the get. Exactly. Because right after where Bama fans were like, Ohio State got blown out, guess where they ranked them at? Ahead of Bama. So they already told you that they actually watched the film. He actually kept making, he was like, it was a 1-point game until a few minutes into the fourth quarter. So that means that we have some people in the college football committee room who actually know how to watch film, who actually knows football. So
we got a few.
Man, because you take away at least 2 or 3 of those explosive plays, that's a completely different game. So, I mean, you got Ohio State versus Georgia. You got that team up north versus TCU. And here's the thing about that matchup with 2 and 3, the team up north and TCU. Both of these teams like to start slow. And both of these teams normally pull away and grind out at the end of the game. Like, This is going to be an amazing matchup. Normally 1 through 4 is just like an easy. Normally when 1 and 4 play, it's normally just like an easy cakewalk. You normally favored by double digits. Well, I think in this playoff, nobody's favored by double digits to win their game. I think the team up north and TCU game is at 9.5 right now. I mean, it's close to double digits, but it's still not double digits, so.
Oh yeah. I think I like this matchup a little bit better. It's something different that we haven't seen, especially I appreciate TCU coming in a Big 12 and in the top 4. This is really going to be a nice little variety, and we really have some really good matchups before we actually get down to the final 2. So we're going to definitely be breaking this down, as well as some other bowl games. And if you guys want us to see it, if you want us to feature some bowl games in the show, just go ahead and drop a comment or a link, and we'll be breaking those down in the next couple of weeks as we get closer to it. But before we get into the bowl games, let's talk about some conference champs recap. First up, we got Utah beating USC. And I was rooting for them. USC first quarter momentum died quickly. USC did not score a touchdown until the fourth after the first quarter. I believe in the second quarter they had a field goal for 3, but after that they were left unanswered in the third, and then the fourth they had 7 points. And Caleb Williams, he was limping around. He did put on a little Heisman, performance in the first quarter, but after running, I believe, for a couple of yards, he got injured. I believe Coach said he popped a hamstring on that, but he did finish for 363 yards with 21 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. And Utah, once they tied it, they just kept it rolling in the second half. So congrats to them on Utah. And I actually, at the beginning of the FanZeds, when we first started, I actually had Utah winning the Pac-12. So congratulations to them. And hey, I didn't know I was right about it, but hey, look, sometimes you're just right. You just come back. Mike, what you see in this game?
I don't know. Did we? I think both of us picked Utah. Like,
I
I
think
mean,
so.
I think I didn't think that they were gonna have as many losses as they
No.
did, but
Mm-mm.
I mean, we did. I think pick them to come out of the Pac-12. But I mean, I was watching that Utah game, USC game, and honestly, from the reason why I picked USC was like Caleb Williams. Like, can anybody tackle this man? Can anybody stop this man? And in the first quarter, it was just looking like nobody could do anything with this guy. It looked like it was about to be, a blowout game. Utah was just gonna be out of there. Looked like they're not supposed to be on the field. And then all of a sudden, man, Caleb Williams starts limping, gets hurt.
Yeah.
I guess Lincoln saying that it's a hammy, but it looked like his knee wasn't even working right. But I mean, he still tried. Like, shout out to Caleb Williams because he still tried to fight through that. He showed me that he got a lot of heart, a lot of dog in him. And I mean, people should be excited to see this team come next year. I figured that this was the year that they needed to get it done, especially before going into the Big Ten as well. But I mean, shout out to Utah. Like I said, my man Kyle Whittingham, got Cam Rising. And I'll tell you this, Cam Rising, a baller. Dude took a hit so bad, his helmet popped off. Dude got up like nothing happened. Like nothing happened and cried and winced about it, actually got up with a smile on. That's a baller. That's the mentality that I wish my quarterback had at Ohio State right now. Because I guarantee you, if I had a Cam Rising, I wouldn't have lost that game last week. I'm just saying.
Hey, look, hopefully y'all have that in a couple of weeks, so we'll see about that.
Yeah.
And another upset alert. Kansas State beats TCU in OT. Kansas State seals it with a field goal. They managed to clinch a 10-win season for the first time since 2012. So congratulations to them. TCU trailed 28-20 with less than 3 minutes remaining. And Duggan, he's almost single-handedly sent the game into overtime with the last drive. He had some scrambles on that, converted some 3rd and 15s, and eventually running in for a touchdown and completing for a 2-point conversion pass to tie the game and to force into overtime. So congratulations to him. He finished with 251 yards passing, 110 yards rushing, and 2 total touchdowns in the loss. But they still managed to make it into the top 4. So congratulations to TCU. And Kansas State running back Deuce Vaughn had a heck of a night. Let me censor that. Running away with 130 yards rushing, 30 yards receiving, and a key touchdown in that. So congratulations to Kansas State on winning this. Where did Kansas State come from? Mike, what's your thoughts on this?
Kansas State been right there. And it's just been, a couple games that haven't went their way. But I mean, they've been one of those Big 12 teams that we were talking about mid-season, early in the season. Like, hey, this could be a team that could run away with it. And here's the thing: they did this with their backup quarterback.
Crazy.
They did it with their backup quarterback, man. Shout out to them, but also we have to give a huge shout out to that man Max Duggan, the quarterback for TCU. Like I was talking about Caleb Williams, Cam Rising having heart. This guy had heart. TCU wouldn't have even made it to overtime if it wasn't for this man. This man tired. This man stood in the pocket, took multiple hits. Normally, and actually, here's the thing. He took the first hit, and I said, man, he's going to be rattled. Dude's going to be rattled. And I said, he's going to end up throwing a pick. He throws a pick right in the end zone or whatever. Did not let it faze him. Dude ended up standing in the pocket again and then just took another hit. And then after he took that hit, he ran down the field to score a touchdown. This guy just kept going. Dude was completely red when he scored. All his teammates were trying to come around him. And he's just like, get off of me. Give me some air. Give me some room. Don't touch me or whatever. Dude just had to sleep in an ice bath or something last night, man, because I know when dude woke up, I know he was hurting.
Yeah, I know. But hey, shout out. That's what I call putting the team on your back. Exactly.
You know, I mean, because of that performance, like everybody was saying that TCU be out, but I mean, what people don't realize is the only reason the Big 12 had a conference championship game is because the committee basically told them that they had to. I mean, because check this out. If they don't have a conference championship game, they remain undefeated, they still get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So why are you going to punish them for losing in an extra game that other teams don't have? So, I mean, at first I was thinking like, yeah, we about to have a rematch. Ohio State at 2-3 and TCU at 4. But this morning, more when I got looking at it, and I'm just like, why punish them? And they only lost by a field goal. So
Exactly. And they took the game to overtime. So,
yeah,
congratulations to TCU and the team for making it. Hey, look, in the Big 12, it's nice to see a different conference. Usually we see the Big 10 and SEC matchup. So it's nice to have some variety, some flavor in there. And speaking of the SEC, we got Georgia bullying LSU. Georgia, they dominate the Tigers. They captured the first SEC title since 2017. And it's the first time that the Dogs have emerged from the SEC title game with an unbeaten record. So congratulations to the Bulldogs. They opened up a 35-10 halftime lead. Bennett threw 4 touchdown passes all in the first half, and he spread the football around to I think 10 different targets. So they did make a little joke. I think I saw on Twitter where they were talking about a grown man basically
oh my
passing to
God.
children. So
Yeah, beating up on teenagers, man. Oh my God. Let that man Stetson live his COVID life.
they said, "Hey, it's time for this man to retire by the time he make it to the NFL." And speaking of LSU, Daniels left before the second half with an ankle injury, so they had their backup QB. Shout out to the backup QBs for showing out and showing up during these title games. He
He was
was
above 500.
he was about above 500. He threw 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. So, I mean, hey, at least he put some points on the board for LSU going into that second half. Mike, I know that you guys will have to face the Bulldogs. So, what's your thoughts on this game? What did you take away?
Man, yeah, like I knew the Bulldogs. You know, there were some people saying, "Oh, what if LSU wins this game and all that?" And I'm like, I'm not entertaining it. Like we knew here at the Fans Edge that LSU was fraudulent. We weren't buying any of the hype that anybody was feeding us about LSU. But like you said, you know, Daniels goes down. But I will say this, man, LSU showed some things against Georgia, you know, that I think other teams might be able to exploit a little bit better and stay in that game. So, I mean, obviously, those are things that they can go ahead and clean up. But, I mean, shout out to Georgia going ahead, winning their SEC championship, going ahead, being the only SEC team to represent the conference, you know. And I ain't really got much else to say, man. I ain't about to throw no shade at Georgia. They one of them. They are the number 1 team, but I want all that smoke. I want all that smoke come December 31st.
He said, "Bring the smoke.
All
Bring the
the
smoke."
smoke come December 31st.
You know they're gonna bring that grown man smoke on December 31st.
Yeah.
And Michigan walks away as the Big Ten champs 2 years in a row. JJ McCarthy threw 3 touchdowns in just 17 pass attempts as the Wolverines outscored Purdue 29-9 in the second half to continue their impressive run for the closing efforts into the game. Donovan Edwards had a heck of a night, added 185 yards and a touchdown in the win. Purdue's quarterback also played a strong game, but he was throwing interceptions on costly plays. So they just didn't have what it takes to beat Michigan, and I think we all knew that coming into this game. And Mike, I know your thoughts on that team up north. So what's your thoughts? I know you were watching this closely as well.
Yeah, you know, the team up north, you know, here's the thing. Like we said, slow start in the first half. First half, I believe, was 13-14. That team up north was winning by 1 point, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they always come out and they get some explosive plays. They end up making plays all in the second half. The adjustments are amazing. I think it's really good coaching to be able to just go from what? How many points did they score? That's like what? Almost 29 points or something like
Yeah,
that.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I mean, for them to be able to do that, I think that that is huge. I was wanting to run this game back with them dudes, man. Big Ten probably won't have divisions, so that way we don't have teams like Purdue playing in the Big Ten championship because that don't even make no sense when they had like 4 losses, and now they have 5 losses.
yeah.
Shout out to that team up north for doing that. But I mean, they make it to the back-to-back Big Ten champs, back-to-back playoff appearances. I
Yep.
mean, I don't know who keeps giving these little dogs these treats, man, but I, I need somebody to put them back on the street, man.
He said somebody. Hey, and we'll see exactly what happens. We still got a lot to cover. It's still a lot of football left to be played. So, in our last game, we got Clemson walking away with the win against UNC. They remain significant after QB change. Just I mean, never mind. I'll let you get into Clemson's QB issue, but hey, GBO, we want all the smoke. Hey, the Volunteers are going to rack Clemson, second string quarterback. It's gonna be on with. But Clemson's replacement, he threw 20 out of 24 passes for 279 yards with a touchdown and no interceptions. I think he came in the first quarter, I want to say, of this game, or was it the second of this one? And Bull and Drake May got at the Tar Heels into the red zone 5 times, but those trips only produced 10 points. So they were just struggling during this matchup. I think this was also another lopsided matchup as well. Mike, what did you see in this?
Man, I've seen people that's been calling for Drake May to be the, enter the portal and be Ohio State starting QB, and I'm just like, I don't know about this. I don't know. But I mean, here's the thing about Clemson change at quarterback. Their quarterbacks to me do not have an amazing season or look like they have progressed as a quarterback until, how do I say this? Like freshman year, they look amazing. DJ looked amazing, looked like the second coming, but his sophomore year was a slump. His junior year was a slump. Trevor Lawrence, I felt like Trevor Lawrence sophomore year, he started off rocky, throwing a lot of interceptions and everything, but Dabo stayed with him, and that year in his sophomore year, he made more plays with his legs. And then in his junior year, he didn't start off with throwing all the interceptions, but it's just like a quarterback that's generational, a quarterback that's good. You want to see them continuously progress and get better and not be stagnant. And that's where I feel like Clemson quarterbacks look. So, yeah, we're praising Clay Kubnik right now, but will we be praising him next year? Because it's like if Clemson doesn't have a generational quarterback or whatever, it just seems like they're not going to be good because I feel like they don't have true quarterback development there. Shout out to them for going ahead and winning their crappy conference championship. No one is paying attention to the ACC. No one has paid attention to the ACC. I think that's crazy that all weekend long we were talking about Big 12, Pac-12, SEC, and Big 10 teams, but no one ever mentioned an ACC team.
Nope. You're
So,
exactly right.
yeah, I mean, and we as people, we as fans have given the Pac-12 a whole lot of flack. I don't think that they're warranted of that flack anymore, man. That has to go to the ACC. You got teams like Miami not pulling their weight. Teams like Florida State not pulling their weight. Clemson didn't pull their weight this year. Like, what is going on with the ACC? It's completely falling off. And I wouldn't be surprised if this offseason you hear, these two schools or this school is making a move to the SEC or the Big Ten.
Yep.
So
I definitely agree with you on that. I did mention at the beginning of the season what will we see from Clemson. So I'm happy that Tennessee gets to play against them in the Orange Bowl. So we'll definitely like to see what happens in that game. With our pick totals, I think we all tied this week. I think we all walked away with 3-2. Uh, Besides, the two upsets with TCU as well as USC. So this was a pretty good week. I was very surprised. TCU almost walked away with that dub, but that lost in OT.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I was going like 0 for 2 and everything, like for the past couple weeks. And then, I'm like, man, I'm like, oh, I'm about to look so bad because I picked USC, I picked TCU, and next thing everybody else did what they were supposed to do. But man, I have been looking so bad with these picks lately.
Hey, yep. We definitely gonna see, especially again. I mentioned earlier in the episode, if you guys want us to cover certain bowl games, go ahead and drop a comment on all social media platforms. We got tons coming up in the next month. So if there's a team in particular you want us to look at and break down, we can definitely do that for you guys. Uh,
Well, let's take a sneak preview of like the New
okay,
Year's Six bowl games.
let's do it. Let's definitely do that. So let's
What we
see.
think about these matchups, because um let's do what's this? You got the Orange Bowl, December 30th,
Yep.
ACC versus the SEC, Clemson versus Tennessee.
Oh yes.
And I mean, do you think that Joe Milton is ready to put the team on his back? Also, do you think how many of you all's players are going to sit out?
I think Joe Milton is I think he's ready to put the team on his back. I think it's time for him to shine, and he definitely has the support behind him going into this game. I'm not sure on how many players are going to sit out. We did have a couple of players that is entering into the transfer portal. I know it's going to be crazy. A lot of players are entering into the transfer portal, but I think
Do you
we
think Hyatt and Tillman will play?
I I know Hyatt will play.
Okay.
I'm for sure Hyatt will play. Tillman, I'm a little unsure on Tillman. I hope he will play. He's had a rough season, so
Yeah, he
I
might
think
sit out.
he might sit out on this one for sure. He's had a rough season. He has been injured, so we want him to be 110% if he does, decide to do what he needs to do. So,
All right.
and again with these backup QBs, we probably will. I'm pretty sure Clemson's backup QB will start this game. So
Yeah, DJ definitely probably. I'm hearing rumors DJ's trying to enter in the transfer portal and going to a school out West Coast.
really,
Hmm.
wow, okay.
We're
Well,
gonna see about that though. So,
yeah,
but I mean, that's what I'm hearing.
that'll be very interesting to see what school DJ decides to go to, and I hope he can develop as a quarterback because he did have a couple of good, games and a good, a couple good passes and a good takes out there. So I'm hoping that he continues to develop. And
Bro, his
again,
career reminds me so much of JT Barrett. I remember
yeah,
JT Barrett came out his red shirt freshman year in 2014, was putting up Heisman candidate numbers, all of this stuff. And then Tom Herman leaves, goes to Houston to be the head coach.
yep,
They get in a guy named Tim Beck, and his production just took a nosedive. And then Ryan Day comes and hit in JT Barrett's last year or whatever with actual QB development, and his numbers rise back up to what they were in 2014. So, like, when people think, oh, this player sucks, if you think that coaching doesn't have a big part to play in the player's development and actually terrible coaching, because I remember shout out to Zach Smith with Minister Sports. He said JT at the quarterback position was like a whooped puppy. Like you
yeah,
have been getting all of this bad training or whatever, and then it's just like, oh, you finally get that good coach, that good family, but you kind of been beaten down a little too much,
oh
and
yeah.
it's hard to come back from that. So that's what I hate about DJ's career because I think he's an amazing quarterback.
Exactly. And again, like you mentioned before with the ACC and their conference and coaching and recruitment, they it needs it's room for improvement. It's definitely room for improvement for the
For
ACC.
sure.
So I think this might actually be a high scoring game between the two. So We know our backup QB can throw the ball, and we know he can. We got some good receivers as well. So
Yeah,
it's,
Clemson struggles on the back end, and then they got all of those guys on the front seven who supposed to be NFL draft picks. Maybe
yep,
they sit out. So, I mean, yeah, I
yep,
say I pick Tennessee this
yeah.
game.
I'll definitely have to go with GBO on this one for
Yeah,
sure.
way too early. We're
Yeah,
not setting anything in stone. Like we said, this is a little sneak peek.
yes,
We
it's
we
just a
gonna
sneak peek.
yeah
We haven't even broken down anything else or
yeah
going into it. So this is just a sneak peek of what was announced today. And then we have USC taking on Tulane in the Cotton Bowl in Texas. So USC, they're back for redemption on this one. I know for sure.
maybe. But here's the thing: Caleb Williams might not be healthy enough to play.
You know what? You're right. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, like, because here's the thing, like, before they even went into their game against Utah, um, he was talking about Caleb Williams. I said this on the show last weekend. Like, he was literally talking about how Notre Dame was stopping their route tree, like, and he had to roll out the pocket and scramble around and get the wide receiver scrambling for him to be able to make plays, you know.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing: do they have another quarterback who can do that? Because obviously they don't have enough faith in this quarterback, who didn't even have enough faith in him to just give Caleb Williams, hey, let's get a break. Let's let you go under the tent or anything.
Right.
Never did it.
Exactly.
Never did it. So, I mean, I think that's telling. In Kansas State, I mean, the only person that I could see sitting out in their game is Deuce Vaughn. That's it. Everybody else needs to play, is going to play. Like I said, it's their backup quarterback. So he's definitely going to be playing. Like, he got to put something on film. I mean, this is crazy, man.
Speaking of Kansas State, they will take on Alabama. I know we saw this past weekend a lot of Nick Saban, surprisingly, on a lot of sports channel making his case for the playoffs. So I apologize, Bama fans. Hey, but however, congratulations to still being ranked over Tennessee, even though we did beat you guys. So
Yeah.
I still
Like,
don't the
head
criteria.
to head doesn't matter
Nope.
anymore.
Nope. It was actually released the criteria of what it was, and still Tennessee won on top. But hey, Alabama, you have been here before, so congratulations to y'all to making number 5
Yeah.
and
They
going
said
up.
head to head don't matter.
Nope. We just
That's crazy.
got smacked by South Carolina too much. So that's why we couldn't be ahead on Alabama, even though we beat LSU and Bama.
So here's the thing about Bama. This about to be early entering the the transfer portal team, early entering into the draft. I mean, I don't think that I'm going to see a Bryce Young playing quarterback there. I mean, maybe he's a team guy and just does it. I mean, but I mean, think about everybody that they really have on their roster. Like, this was supposed to be their last year.
Yep, that is
You
true.
know. So also Will Anderson too, right? Supposed to be
Yeah.
his last year. You know. I mean, are they gonna have the bodies? Like, are they gonna have the bodies to be able to play against Kansas State? We gonna find out. We gonna find out.
We're going to see a lot of freshmen and underclassmen coming in and stepping up to the plate. But Bama's, they do have some backup QBs that can produce and can throw the ball. I've seen them play this season. So,
The one that struggled against Texas A&M?
no, not that one. It was
The one that struggled against Arkansas?
no. Okay, yeah.
I mean, right. I don't know.
Bama is just not the same. Bama is just not the same. But for what they have this season, and Kansas State, they have a backup QB as well that will play for them.
Oh, hey, he just won a game.
Yeah, he just won a game. So
He won a championship game. That man got a ring.
So do you see, well, with Bama's defense and Kansas State offense, do you see this as a close game or a high scoring game?
I mean, here's reality, right? Like, we know when it comes to talent, Alabama has the guys. I mean, I think the issue is that we haven't seen any actual offensive firepower that we've seen from previous Bama teams, right?
Right.
We also have seen not as much hunger and discipline in this Bama team as we've seen in previous teams. So that's why I say, like, even though they're talented, something's been going wrong this year to put them in the position that they're in right now. So I can't count Kansas State completely out. They know who they are. Bama still seemed like they were trying to, find their destiny. You got Nick Saban going out here on a campaign tour. I don't know how he ended up on the Big Ten championship game halftime, able to talk crap about the Big Ten. Talk about those two teams when the Big Ten should get in. We play in the SEC. We lost to a team by 2 points who got smacked by an inferior opponent. We lost to two teams who got smacked by inferior opponents.
True.
Then he's talking about the whole, we got a healthy team now. Healthy team is different. And Ohio State wasn't healthy when they lost theirs. We could say that team up north, they weren't healthy, but still won theirs.
Yep.
I mean, USC, they weren't healthy, but were still winning theirs. This to me, it just doesn't make sense. I also want to say, Georgia has some guys out that just came back.
Yep.
Not everybody. This is football, and they're talking about, we were playing some of our best football against who? Austin Peay. Against who? Auburn.
At home.
Auburn. Come on, man. That's crazy. Like my man Andrew said, begging for a spot. That was crazy, man. And here's the thing. Y'all do remember, years ago, Nick Saban was of the belief, hey, man, when y'all wanted to just take it away from two teams and wanted to go to four, I was against that. Now y'all want to go from 4 teams and more. Why would we do that? Why do we put the players through that? Now this year, it's a whole different too. My players should have the opportunity, and expanded playoff would be great for the college football playoff. I think that my team should be in. Keep the consistency, Nick Saban. Come on. Now that your team don't make it for the second time or whatever, now we should stay in the playoffs? Come on, bro. No consistency at all. And that's what I'm saying. SEC just means move the goalposts.
Oh, no.
Every time. Yeah, I got to hit y'all with that. Because I swear, I have not seen no conference move the goalpost more than the SEC this year. Oh, my God, bruh. That goalpost is crazy, man. That guy got some miles on it this year.
It got plenty of miles on it this year, for sure. This year, for sure.
What we got? One.
Did we talk about the Rose Bowl? We got.
Let's talk about the Rose Bowl.
Let's talk about the Rose Bowl. We got.
That's gonna be the best one.
I think this might be the best matchup as well. I think, and also just a quick take. I kind of feel like Penn State was cheated this season. I feel like they should have been ranked a little bit higher than what they are.
Don't get me started. I mean, they only, when you want to talk about who they lost to, their only 2 losses was to the number 2 and number 14 in the nations. Also, neither one of those teams lost to or got smacked by inferior opponents. So when you're talking about, who had the better losses, to me, Penn State had the better losses than what Bama had. Penn State had the better losses than what Tennessee had. And I kept arguing about this every freaking ranking coming out. And I understand that, maybe they didn't have the correct games or whatever that is. But it's literally right up under Bama. They said their best win was Texas and Arkansas.
Exactly.
Come on, man. I don't understand it. A team, one of their best wins is Arkansas, who lost to a G5 school.
Ooh, not too much.
Come on, man.
Congratulations to Arkansas to making it to the Music City Bowl. Hey, we'll see y'all down in Memphis.
Hey, it's crazy. So I think not the last time, but before Sam Pittman, when they went to a bowl game, they went to a bowl game before against Kansas State and beat Kansas State. And I remember Arkansas fans were so happy. And it's just crazy that Kansas State is elevated their program.
Definitely has
ahead
elevated.
of them. And it's like, you guys are in SEC country and they're in Kansas. What
Yep.
is the excuse? Arkansas has way more money to put into that program than Kansas State. What is the excuse?
Hey, I definitely agree with you on that. Vandy has been the same way. They haven't necessarily, I mean, they had some wins this season, so congratulations on some SEC wins. So they're finally getting up there. But I see what you're talking about when it comes to the SEC.
It's just, I mean, what's the excuse? And don't say, oh, your conference, because look at what Kansas State. Kansas State had to go through Texas, had to go through OU, had to go through Baylor, had to go through TCU. Like,
Oklahoma State, yep.
all these, yeah, like, I mean, look at their program. Like, they had to go through all of these teams that bring in more money than them, make more money than them, got more talent than them. Like, there is no freaking excuse for you to be that bad year in, year out. Sorry, just not.
I definitely think we're going to see a lot of coaching turnover as well, assistant coaching, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator in the SEC this upcoming off season. I think we're on.
It's not just that. I think we're about to see a lot of coaching turnover, period, because I don't think that some of these coaches who are actually really, really good college coaches are liking this NIL crap, bruh. It's hard to coach players. You got players wanting to enter the portal. We heard about reports coming out from your school. You know, someone counting the quarterback's pockets and having to get checked by other teammates and things like that. Like,
Yep.
I mean, I'm never of the belief that you count another man's pockets. Like, never do that.
Mm-mm.
But I mean, these are kids. These are things. Like, we always. And here's another thing. Like, everybody wants these teams to be undefeated at TCU or in Ohio State and things like that. But it be the same TV analysts and the same people that be saying going undefeated is hard. Going undefeated is hard with 18, 21-year-olds. Then
Exactly.
when NIL came out, they're saying, oh, going undefeated with these 18, 19, 20-year-olds is really going to be hard with NIL. But then we want to clown teams for having one loss. Make it make sense, bruh. There's no consistency in college football. It's just all these narrative driven, and they change and switch these narratives so other teams can look better than these other teams. I'm so sick of it, man.
Oh yeah. And I'm this NIL has changed the game, and it will change the game forever with college football. I feel like the kids, they gonna go where the money reside, and hey, it's easy for them to just get up and leave because this generation, we don't stick around for nothing. If somebody offering, like Coach Prime said, hey, I'll be a fool to not entertain it. I will be a fool to not. So hey, I don't think and getting back to this game, I like you said, I think it's gonna be definitely one of the best matchups that we're gonna see.
Oh yeah.
We just broke down Utah, so hey, that quarterback, tough.
Cam
And
Rising tough. Here's the thing, man. Like, Utah. Okay, so like Penn State has a really, really good secondary. But I think that they might have a couple guys out, or Joey Porter Jr. I don't know if he's going to be able to play in this game, or if he's going to decide, hey, I'm going to sit out because he's supposed to be one of the top cornerbacks taken off the board in the NFL draft. So I am curious to see who sticks around. But the front seven of Penn State is young. Their biggest issue going up against like teams like Ohio State and that team up north was just being young, not being gap sound and disciplined, right?
right.
But I mean, there's a whole lot of promise looking at this Penn State team, especially for their future. And you're talking about them young guys getting more reps in that bowl practice. I mean, I'm very excited. Now, Penn State fans, they will tell you, hey, we have to be wary of Sean Clifford. They do believe that their backup quarterback, Drew Aller, is the face, the future of that program. And yes, he's a really great, good quarterback. Maybe they can use both of them, but I'll tell you this. If Sean Clifford wins them this game, he, to me, will be their best quarterback in their program history, bruh. And I want Penn State fans to give this man, Sean Clifford, their flowers, bro. He has took y'all through the down in the dumps where y'all was letting Michigan State run and beat y'all up in 2020. I mean, what? Penn State hasn't even had 10 wins since, what was it, 2018?
It's been
or
a
something
while.
like that. Yeah, it's been a while. And this man, Sean Clifford, like literally, he has set you guys up to have 10 wins. Now possibly have 11 wins, and you get to go into the next season with a fresh new quarterback, some young guys who got experience. Like, that's the best passing of the torch. Because he could have passed the torch and had y'all at 8-4, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I mean, that would have been the worst passing of the torch, right?
Exactly.
He's setting you guys up like, boom, here's the standard. You don't drop below. Here's the thing. You guys praising Drew Aller, Penn State fans. If Drew Aller get y'all less than 10, I don't want to hear no more slander on Sean Clifford, bruh. If he don't get y'all 10 wins, I don't want to hear no slander.
I know at one point in time we were mentioning Sean Clifford as a Heisman candidate. Are we still leaning towards Caleb Williams? Or
Caleb Williams?
yes, are we
I
still
mean,
leaning towards him, or where are we going? Where's the needle right now after this
right now
performance?
to me, after what I seen, you could go Caleb Williams, Max Duggan.
Oh,
that dude Max Duggan's a beast, bro. Like, I'm sorry, here's the thing. What people don't realize is without Max Duggan, TCU is not in this. Like, when we're talking about the person that's holding that whole team together, it's Max Duggan. I mean, what better Heisman story do you want? This guy had I'm hearing that he had a heart procedure or whatever before the season. He didn't start the season as the starting quarterback. And then he led, and not even as the starter, this man led the Big 12 in passing touchdowns. Every time someone counts TCU out, he puts the team on his back single-handedly and wills them to a win.
you definitely. I think they came back with what was it, 7 comeback wins this season?
Yeah.
Because of him.
Because
of him.
I think it would be beautiful for him to win the Heisman. I mean, Caleb also still has another chance of winning it next year. You know, it just sucks that his game. It's just also, it makes me question a little bit Lincoln Riley's play calling. You know, because without these dual threat quarterbacks like a Kyler Murray and things that have been able to hold on to the ball or just run and get a first down out of nowhere and just zip past people,
Mm-hmm.
what does Lincoln Riley offense really look like?
He did have a couple passes.
Here's the thing. He got a quarterback who couldn't really run from people like Spencer Rattler, and his offense looked like trash. But he's had that in Baker Mayfield. He's had that in Kyler Murray. He's had that in Jalen Hurts. And he's had that in Caleb Williams. The only person who's different in that is Spencer Rattler. And the offense looked like straight trash. So is Lincoln Riley really the QB developer that we think he is?
No comment on that. You know,
I need to know. I mean, people gotta tell me, because like, I'm literally starting to think about these things, man. When we're talking about the greatest offensive minds in college football, like, we're going to be talking about this stuff, you know, all throughout the off season. Best coaches, best teams, the teams that we, you know, think, all of this stuff we're going to be talking about in the off season. And so I just want to lay that precedent out there about Lincoln Riley, because we're going to end up revisiting this, and it won't be till like after Caleb Williams isn't the quarterback. But like I'm saying, is that the reason why they didn't put the backup in?
From what I read, Lincoln Riley did ask Caleb Williams if he wanted to sit out, and Caleb said no. So from what I read.
Oh, Caleb Williams, the head coach. Oh,
Hey,
apparently it's not the head coach's job to protect his players. Come on, man. Of course, nobody wants to ever sit up. Of course, no one ever wants to do that. But the health and the safety of your players has to mean more than the game.
Who is the backup for USC? Have we ever
I
seen
don't
him?
know. I mean, they put the camera on dude like he was warming up about to go in, but he didn't go
He
in.
didn't.
So
He definitely did.
I
Yeah.
don't. I can tell you this. I doubt he's a Caleb Williams. Like he can't run like that, dude. So
No.
I mean, like I said, I'm interested to see. We will be seeing against Tulane.
Yep.
Tulane.
We definitely will. Like
I
you
mean, but
said, I
it's
don't.
Tulane. Like, dang, I feel like we're still not gonna be able to really see nothing. It's Tulane,
Now, if Tulane upset USC, it's over with.
bro.
It's over with.
Hey, USC, come on to the Big Ten. Y'all can lose to Purdue. Jeff Brown cut you up.
Right.
All right. I ain't got nothing else on the bowl games.
Yep, that's it for the. And hey, that was just an early hot take on the bowl game since they dropped. But stay tuned to future episodes. We will be breaking the New Year's Six down as well as the bowl games that you guys want us to cover. So we'll definitely come out with some of those in the upcoming weeks as they are scheduled. And for our final segment, we got the game ball. Each week we like to hand out the game ball to the player that stood out to us. So this one, I had two, but I think Mike and I didn't talk about this before the game. I mean, before the show. So I'm just gonna go with my first choice. And I don't think he would have picked this one, but Donovan Edwards. No, okay. So
I ain't picking
okay.
that.
That's what I figured. I figured with this choice, I would be safe on this one. But over the last two games for Donovan Edwards against Ohio State and Purdue, he has run for 401 yards, had 3 touchdowns, and on just 47 carries, while breaking off runs of 85 and 60 yards to swing games and lay knockout blows. So he's emerged as a legitimate weapon for Michigan offense, and I would definitely like to see him in the playoffs because Corum, he is out. So that he definitely, I would like to hand the ball off to him. He's had explosive performance the last 2 games, and I like to see what he would do in the playoffs. Mike, who you got?
Man, I gotta go with my guy Cam Rising, quarterback at Utah. My guy had QBR 81.4, 3 touchdowns, 310 yards throwing the ball. And like I said, man, he went and got first downs with his legs as well, took great hits. And without him being able to take them hits, embrace them hits, like it gave the team a different momentum, a different edge when you're able to see your leader put their body on the line and not even have to use his words, just using his actions and putting it all on the line. It gives another spark to that team. And I believe that that's exactly what happened. Cam Rising just continued to make plays, put up 23 points. Utah put up 23 points in the fourth quarter just to seal the deal. So shout out to Cam Rising and the Utah Utes, man.
Oh yeah. Shout out to them. It's like, and again, that's going to be a nice matchup between them and Penn State. And again, make sure you are following us on all podcast platforms. We stream live every Sunday night, and you will find highlights on tomorrow morning as well as throughout the week. We're going to break down each segment just in case you guys missed it. And make sure you are following us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, you name it. And comment, like, share, do whatever you need to. Hey, we want all the smoke, so bring it. And again, I'm going to say this one more time. If you're interested in the bowl game and you want us to cover it, go ahead and drop it in the comments on any of our segments. We will definitely do a breakdown. And feel free to join the show and rep your team. Yeah. And hey, and with that, Mike and I, we are out.
Yeah, we out of here.